Alright. Good evening, everybody. Happy Monday. Insofar as a Monday can be happy. It's been like the classic awful Monday here, really. You know, dark, rainy, cold, generally rubbish and horrible, and we need to skip this track because I think some of those piano bits are actually, they're in the content ID system on YouTube. So I actually need to, it annoys me because they're really nice music, but I think I need to remove them from my my music folder. So, because they keep getting claims stuck on them. How annoying. And you know what's particularly aggravating about it is it's actually, that music is from an Oblivion mod pack. Like it's from a modded music pack. As in, I'm pretty sure the music was composed for the purpose of people putting it in their game. It wasn't ripped from somewhere else. It was made for the purposes of people putting in Oblivion. But it's in the Content ID system somehow. So, if you do play Oblivion with that modded music pack in, rip your ad revenue. But never mind. Plenty of other music. I'm thinking of nicking some from Pathfinder Kingmaker and sticking it in there instead, to be fair. So, how's everybody this evening? Chat's very talkative tonight, that's always nice. What have I missed whilst I was going and making my cup of tea? Going to make my cup of tea. Let's try and speak English properly, shall we? Twitch chat decides, indeed. Through a series of straw polls is the way I'm going to do it, because I don't have a more elegant means of doing it at the moment. I've seen some people who stream game books like this. They have like a bot set up so that you can actually vote in the chat. And the bot tallies up the votes for you, but I'm not technologically minded, so I just, I don't understand how it works. I just praise the Omnissiah and apply the sacred oils and hope for the best. So, anyone know what this game's like, or are we going in blind? Well, it's not really a game. We're essentially today we're reading a book. You see. It's a book, really, not a game. It's a digital version of the book, so I'll be streaming that, along with the extra bells and whistles the digital version of it comes with. But it's a book. That's why you've got a book cover on the screen. Stronghold music for the win! Throwing this in the Oblivion music folder was one of the best decisions I do believe I've made in quite some time. I do say so myself. It fits Oblivion so nicely. Like a choose-your-own-adventure book. Precisely like a choose-your-own-adventure book. It's the Warlock of Firetop Mountain is the first book in the fighting fantasy series written by Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone, who are, incidentally, the guys who founded Games Workshop back in the 1970s. So in addition to founding GW... these guys also did a whole bunch of other stuff. They designed an RPG. They wrote loads of these game books as well. And this was the first one. It's not the first one I ever read. The first one I read was Death Trap Dungeon. But it is the first... This was the second one I read, actually, as a matter of fact. But it is the first game book they ever did. So, choose your own adventure book, but on a computer. Yeah. This is a classic then. Oh, yes. Pretty key to the success of RPGs in the UK, those two. Yeah, very influential fellows. I think it's just your computer doing stuff, Callian, because it's fine at everyone else's end. You're watching in the Twitch app on your PC. Pray tell why. I just watch in the browser like everyone else. I have the Twitch app on my phone, but...
We're watching.
Neil!
Scum.
9 months in a row, sir. Thank you very much. I really, really need to update those pop-ups that come on the screen. I've had those for ages. They need updating. Something that looks a bit flashier. The road less travelled, I think.
We're watching you.
Love this song.
Scum.
Welcome back to Let's Play Morrowind, etc. Weirdy Beardy as well, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub.
We're watching you. Scum.
Callian as well, 20 months, holy heck, indeed. Indeed, sir. Thank you very much. This tune always reminds you of Fellowship of the Ring for some reason. Interesting. That's a movie I need to watch. Very soon. I talked about this last time, didn't I think? And or possibly read the books. They're sat on my shelf right over there in their nice little case. All three of them. Fellowship of the Ring, Two Towers, and Return of the King. Fellowship's definitely the most read of the bunch. And I've read The Hobbit even more times than all three. But, yeah. Doing a lot of reading at the minute. As much reading as I can possibly pack into my day. Just because I'm in a writing mood, and when you're in a writing mood, it serves you well to do lots of reading too. At the minute I am reading The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie, which was actually bought for me by Pedro, one of my Twitch subs. So I've been reading that. I've been reading Legion by Dan Abnett. I'm about halfway through the big first Gaunt's Ghost Omnibus. And yeah, I'm thinking of throwing Lord of the Rings on top of that pile, just for the shits and giggles, I suppose, if nothing else. And I have the first few Foundation novels by Isaac Asimov on my shelf as well, which I've been meaning to reread at some point. If you're seeking some sci-fi inspiration, why not go back to the source? So, The Hobbit was written first. Originally, its original incarnation was basically a children's story that Tolkien wrote for his kids. And then he wrote The Lord of the Rings. And then he went back and essentially sort of rewrote The Hobbit to bring it more up to date with The Lord of the Rings. So, the version, obviously, the version of the Hobbit you read nowadays is not the original version. He did a George Lucas basically, but nobody's noticed. So, Bilbo shot first. I'm reading the Romanovs by Simon Sebag Montefiore. Such a cool name, that. I've heard plenty about him though. He's quite a famous historian, isn't he? In fact, I think I might have even read at least part of that exact book when I did my history A-levels. Now that I think about it, Neil. Now that you mention it, it rings a bell because I did A-level Russian history from the late 1800s till the Cold War. And I'm pretty sure I read at least some of that book as a result. Shakespeare is awesome. Shakespeare is indeed awesome. I've not watched enough Shakespeare, or not nearly enough. It's a personal failing of mine. But Shakespeare is indeed fan-bloody-tastic. He was so fan-bloody-tastic that he's practically shaped half of our modern vocabulary. My personal favourites out of the stuff that I do know of his is Richard III and obviously the Scottish play is marvellous. Hamlet is good. Hamlet's good. And Julius Caesar. Just Julius Caesar is an incredible one, just purely because of how much it's accidentally bled into our understanding of the real history. Like, it's gotten to the point where the average person often confuses the events of the play with what actually happened in real life. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. Indeed. What a line. Ugh. But, yeah, Richard III's a favourite of mine. Particularly the film version with Ian McKellen in. That was the first time I saw Richard III from, like, start to finish, I believe. And it made me like it. Because up to that point, I was a bit like, oh, bloody Shakespeare. So I was, I was at school at the time, A-levels, doing Shakespeare, and I was like, oh, this is hard work. And then I actually watched that performance, and I was like, dude, okay, I'm convinced Shakespeare's awesome now. I just needed to see a good performance, and I think that's the problem for a lot of folks, really, because their understanding of Shakespeare comes from the shit they were forced to do in school, which frequently ended up being basically you just reading the script from a book, or being forced to perform it with your classmates, which everyone hates. So, but actually watching a really good fucking performance of one of those plays makes a whole heap of difference. Like another one, A Midsummer Night's Dream. That's a favourite of mine because that's one I actually saw in a theatre. So, chat overlay isn't frozen. I think you're having some real problems with your app, Callian. I was actually Witcher 2. Funnily enough. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was Frankie posting in between two of your messages, so I got it wrong. I quite literally do need my eyes tested. So, although since I've managed to dig up my gunners again, my headaches have more or less stopped. So I think it was definitely an eye strain thing, which means I probably really do need to go see an optician. Which is a shame, because it'll be expensive. And they'll try to flog me a new pair of glasses, as they always do. You have to politely decline without outright openly saying I'm going to buy mine from the internet where it's cheaper. Do you have contacts or glasses? I have glasses because I don't wear them all the time. Like, I was specifically told by my optician when I got my glasses, like, you don't wear these for driving and other stuff like that. Just wear them when you're at the computer or if you're reading. So... Just checking if I've got any dropped frames. Nope, no dropped frames. Jolly good. I was a bit worried tonight because it's been a very wet day, as I said, which means quite often internet problems for me. Because there's a cable somewhere that's being interfered with when wet, when water leaks in somewhere. What do you think about Redfall? I don't know what Redfall is. I'm afraid. Never heard of it. Oh, Bethesda trademarked the word Redfall a month back, and everyone assumes next Elder Scrolls. Redfall. I mean, maybe. Could also be, Frank, who fucking knows? It could be a goddamn, a DLC title for a bloody, the space thing they're making that I don't even remember the name of. Could be any number of things. Like, Bethesda has so many properties now, you know? Bit of a daft name. If they're really going to call the Elder Scrolls 6 Redfall. Why? Why? Anyway. So, folks. Okay. Various admin bits, let's get out of the way. So, I'm streaming again on Friday. And... Okay, so I'll spoil this for you now. I was planning to play Skyrim Enderal on Friday. I was going to start a playthrough of that. Then I discovered that they're soon going to be releasing a standalone Steam version of Skyrim Enderal. And I'd much rather use that than potentially break my Skyrim installation trying to get it to work. So, yeah, sorry. Kind of blue-balled you there a little bit, but yeah, there won't be any Enderal, at least until that standalone version gets released. So that's the thing. So I actually don't know what I'll be doing on Friday now, because that's gone out of the window. It might just be more Battletech, I'm afraid. Because I have honestly been really enjoying Battletech, even though the viewer numbers haven't been spectacular. I think most people don't even bloody know what Battletech is, to be honest. The painting stream, I don't have a plan for that yet, honestly. But at some point, there is still sat here on the desk, looking up at me, so... Quite enjoy the Battletech streams. So do I. I'm a little surprised. I thought it might be a little bit more popular, especially since I put out a YouTube post about it. Because it's a pretty recent game, you know. But, whatever. I love it, because it feels like a digital version of a tabletop game. Which I dig. So, I've been enjoying it very much. So, I might end up playing more of that on Friday. called mechs, Night Eagle, not Gundams. For fuck's sake, you weeaboo. Get out of here. Fucking weeb. Get off my lawn. Have you ever been in a D&D campaign? Yes. Oh, I need to remind myself as well to upload Morrowind after the stream's over. Bob Ross style painting stream. You could just watch Bob Ross on Twitch, since that's a thing. To be fair. To the D&D series you teased. Mainly, I've been preoccupied with getting 40k up and running, basically, and then I've now kind of sort of reached a point where I'm comfortable with it and can start focusing on other things a bit. But having said that, also I'm still you know, struggling a bit to get people regularly on board to film videos with me, because the guys that do film with me, like Dan and Andrew, they're awesome, great guys. I love the fact that they're willing to come down and see me, but the problem is they both travel like for 2 fucking hours to get to me and then 2 hours to get home. So they're not local to me, basically, is what I'm saying. So the frequency, they have to plan around their work and stuff, so the frequency they can actually get down to play games with me is limited. So, you know, until I get to the point where I'm like booked up 2 months in advance with games, I don't necessarily feel completely comfortable letting that just sort of, you know, letting 40k just kind of lie down and not have to bother with it for a while beyond just, you know, playing the games on the appointed dates. I don't like Roll20 because it doesn't look very nice on from a production value perspective. I would much prefer to use Tabletop Simulator. But the other problem is that some of the guys that I wanted to get on board potentially and do it, they just don't have the free time at the moment either. Like Variax, for example, I wanted to use like #1 on my list to get involved because I've been in tabletop sessions with him before. I wanted to get him involved, and he now streams on Saturday nights and Sunday nights, and frequently Friday nights as well on top of that. So the guy literally just does not have weekends free. And apparently he's doing a D&D thing with some friends of his now anyway as well on top of that. So, yeah, I don't know what'll happen. Maybe someday, but it's a combination right now. I've got other shit I need to focus on, and also the people I was going to basically try and get involved with it. The people I was going to try and get involved with it are busy. So I mean, yeah, exactly, Angus. Like, honestly, I would rather just boot up Tabletop Simulator, use the, like, saved D&D table I have on there, where I can literally draw a map on the grid on the table, like with the grid mats that I used to use back in the day. You know, you'd get the pen that you can wipe off with a rag, and you draw out the room and all the details very quickly for the dungeon you're in, and do it that way. And, you know, you can take literally like any JPEG image and turn it into a miniature in Tabletop Simulator as well. So all I need is people to supply me with an image of their character, and I can turn it into a mini that's on the table, and it's just perfect. It's really good. So you know, would you be DMing? Well, yeah, because I don't see anyone else lining up to DM. Be organising the fucking thing, so. It's, you know, to be honest, it's like it's only fair. I can't be like, right, I want to do a D&D thing. Here, other fellow YouTubers, one of you organise all of it for me. While I reap the benefits. I don't think that's very fair, really. So anyway. Right, what was I saying? Yeah, stream on Friday is probably going to be more Battletech. And that's about it, really. Oh, gosh, I forgot what day it was. Yeah, we'll be streaming on Wednesday as well. In fact, to be honest, for some dumb reason, I forgot it was a Monday. Please forgive. Yeah, we'll be streaming on Wednesday and Friday, obviously. And honestly, Wednesday will probably be Battletech, actually. Friday, I'll think of something. It could be another scoop of Battletech on Friday as well. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'll figure something out, as I said. Anyway, so Enderall not being available yet has thrown a bit of a spanner in the works, but that's okay. It basically means I need to find something, because it's very frustrating actually, because they've got a store page for it up and stuff like that, but there's no release date beyond. It just says 2018. So, like, I've no idea when it's coming, so I don't know how to plan for, like, how long whatever I do in the meantime should be. Like, am I going to launch into a big RPG that will take months to finish, or should I just play a few shooters that are very quick? I don't know, because they won't tell us when it's actually releasing, the buggers. So, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, no, not Roller Coaster Tycoon. No, sorry. I actually bought a while ago, like last year or something, I think it was. I forget what it's even called now. You know, the modern Roller Coaster Tycoon-ish type game that someone, you know, that got made, and I didn't really enjoy it. It's not my cup of tea, guys. Sorry. It's a bit like City Skylines. Not really my cup of tea. I'm not the sort of games I play. Planet Coaster. Yeah, that was the one. Yeah. No, it's not my thing, I'm afraid, folks. Right, I think we should get started. So, bye-bye. I think that music was copyrighted as well, so that's probably, yeah. I doubt it'll be the VOD muted, but it'll probably be like any ad revenue from the stream VOD on YouTube gone. Right. Who is this Warlock? His name is Zagor. Why are we running his day? Because he's an evil Warlock. Like, do you need further explanation? This was a D&D campaign, you wouldn't give two figs who this Warlock is. You'd just be like, okay, he's the evil Warlock, we gotta go kill him and get some loot. You'd burst into his mountain and be like, yo, nerd, where's my money? Because that's what D&D players are like. Right, okay, so, game capture. I believe I already set this up beforehand, so we should be good to go. Hey. Alright. So, as you can see, I have the collection here, which is not by all of them by any stretch of the imagination, but I think the company that made this is working on more to add. We got a Death Trap Dungeon. Like I said, that's the first one I ever read. Caverns of the Snow Witch, City of Thieves, and Island of the Lizard King, Forest of Doom, Trial of Champions, House of Hell, Citadel of Chaos. that, which isn't even written. That isn't even one of the old Final Fantasy books. That's just some modern thing they chucked in. And the Warlock of Firetop Mountain. Game book number 1. So, deep in the caverns beneath Firetop Mountain lies an untold wealth of treasure, guarded by a powerful warlock, or so the rumor goes. Many adventurers, expert swordsmen like yourself, have set off for Firetop Mountain in search of the warlock's hoard. None has ever returned. Do you dare follow them? There you go. That's why we're going to go kill the warlock, because he's got money and we want money. Apparently. It's been a long sodding time since I read this. But, it's going to be fun. It's going to make you want to play sorcery again. Oh, man. I had the first 2 original, like, sorcery books back in the day. They were good. And I think I've got all 4 sorcery, like, games on the PC. Like, you know how they took the game book and turned it into a PC game, kind of, sorta? Like it's a hybrid between a game and the book. I think I've got all of those. But there's part of me that honestly still just likes reading it in the book form with all the original illustrations and the actual text and everything, and just sort of letting your imagination fill in the gaps rather than having it all gamified for you. Because there's a Warlock of Firetop Mountain game you can get on Steam, which is vaguely similar, but it has like turn-based combat with like dudes on a board with and stuff like that. And I'm like, nah, I don't want that. I want the original book as I read it when I was a kid, which is what this is, more or less. So, yeah. There's even a few that I've got on my shelf still around here somewhere, which aren't in this, like Creature of Havoc. Creature of Havoc was a great one, because Creature of Havoc, you actually played as a monster. Which, if I recall, but I never really got very far with it because, like, the first section of the book was like a bit of a labyrinth I always got lost in. So, using the book does have a charm to it. Yeah, that's what I think, you know. And particularly with some bits with labyrinthine sections, a bit like this has towards the end. You'd have to sit there and you'd have to make a map on paper and everything. Oh, it was great fun. So, that's what I wanted to do. That's why I'm using this instead. But yeah, so and I pointed this out before, but these game books honestly are the first kind of RPGs that I ever played. Fighting Fantasy was basically my introduction as a kid to role-playing games. You know, this is where it started for me. Well, specifically, it started with this, and then Warlock of Firetop Mountain I read after that. But that was what got me interested in the whole dungeons and sorcery and swords and monsters and stuff kind of world of things. So yeah. And they also kind of were what got me into doing writing as well, because the first like stories and things that I wrote as a kid were fighting fantasy style novels. So these books are really quite responsible for quite a lot of what makes me who I am today. So it's they're kind of special to me from that perspective. So Warlock of Firetop Mountain was the first to be written, correct? Yes. So let us begin. And yes, so basically the way this is going to work, the decisions will be made by you, dear chat. I'll post straw polls in the chat because I don't have a crazy fancy bot that can do it for me or anything. And you guys will vote on the decisions, and I will bear no responsibility whatsoever for the many and varied deaths that you all suffer as a result of this, probably. So, enjoy your stream. Saw your stream of Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine. Oh, nice, dude. Hope you enjoyed. Incidentally, Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine is now available on GOG, finally, after years and years of me hoping they'd put it on there. They actually released it on GOG about a month or a couple of weeks after I finished streaming it. But anyway, so. Right. Oh boy, we can backseat. No. I will be the one doing the backseating this time, chat. You're in the driving seat now. The Warlock of Firetop Mountain is a fighting fantasy gamebook, an interactive adventure in which you are the hero. You can only win by choosing the correct path, finding equipment, avoiding traps, and surviving combat. You will need to be as wise as an owl and as cunning as a weasel to triumph over the challenges ahead. What was that quote from Lord of the Rings? I have the eyes of a hawk and the ears of a fox. And that's the point where he walks into the arrow. Anyway. Before embarking on your adventure, you must determine your own strengths and weaknesses with a series of dice rolls. You have been preparing for your quest by training yourself in swordplay to improve your skill and exercising vigorously to build up your stamina. Before making your rolls, you must choose from one of 3 difficulty settings. This gamebook has been designed for optimum challenge on the adventurer difficulty mode. For newcomers to fighting fantasy, we recommend adventurer or free read modes. Free reader basically allows you to flick between the pages and cheat, like I used to back in the day. For experienced readers already familiar with the printed versions of this gamebook, we recommend Hardcore Hero mode. So, play the Warlock of Firetop Mountain exactly how Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone designed it. Very little has been changed from the printed version. Your starting skill is calculated by rolling 1d6 plus 6. You are also given unlimited bookmarks, which act like placing your fingers between the pages. Yes, I remember doing that as well, actually. Lots of folded over corners of pages, which is why a lot of my old copies of these game books did not survive very long. Hardcore Hero. If you've beaten the Warlock of Firetop Mountain in Adventure mode or have read the printed form of this game book before, I have. This difficulty mode allows you to test your courage on Firetop Mountain with the ultimate challenge. Your starting skill is calculated by rolling 1d6 plus 4. You still receive unlimited bookmarks. If I was playing this myself, I'd be very tempted to go Hardcore Hero mode because I have beaten this book before. And free read. Play the Warlock of Firetop Mountain like an old school cheater. Raise his hand. Yep, no, that was me. I did beat it properly, to be fair. Well, yeah, no, I did. I'm pretty sure I beat it properly at least once. Or was it? No. Okay. Citadel of Chaos was the one that I beat completely following the rules. With a lot of these game books, because the combat was a bit tedious and annoying, I would frequently just skip it. Or because I didn't have any dice to hand, actually, as well. That was the thing. Like, I didn't have any dice on me, so I would basically just skip the combat and say that I won. And then you'd frequently fail even in spite of that, so... Because quite frequently, to finish the book, you need to have collected certain items, certain MacGuffins along the way, and that sort of thing. So even if you skip the combat, you can still fail. And there's there's plenty of like instant death scenarios as well. So, I think we'll go with Adventurer for you lot. You can suffer through it the proper way. You have chosen the Adventure difficulty mode. Before continuing, you must calculate your initial stamina. Your stamina score reflects your general constitution, your will to survive, your determination, and overall fitness. The higher your stamina score, the longer you will be able to survive. You must roll 2 dice and add 12 to the number rolled. This is then entered in the stamina box on your adventure sheet. Let's hope you roll good here, chat. Stamina will go up and down during your journey, but if your stamina falls to 0, you die and your adventure is over. That's pretty average. In fact, that is exactly average. Rolled a 7. Plus a base of 12 means your stamina is 19. There you go. You got average stamina, chat. Next, determine your skill. Your skill reflects your swordsmanship and general fighting expertise. The higher, the better. Your starting skill is determined by rolling 1 die and adding 6 to the number. This is then entered in the skill box on your adventure sheet. Your adventure sheet can be accessed at any time using the menu at the bottom of the screen. Roll your skill. Your roll of a 1 plus a base of 6 means your skill is 7. Can we not go back and re-roll that? Okay, no, sorry chat, you're boned. Try not to get in any fights. Next, determine your luck. Your luck score indicates how naturally lucky a person you are. Apparently not very lucky. Luck and magic are facts of life in the fantasy kingdom you're about to explore. Your starting luck is determined by rolling 1 die and adding 6 to the number. This is then entered in the luck box on your adventure sheet. Roll your starting luck. Hey, there you go. Got luck 12. Surprising. All right, so you have no skill, chat, but you have an abundance of luck. As is befitting of beginners, I suppose. You literally have beginner's luck. Next, you must choose a potion to take with you. In addition to your other starting equipment, you may take one bottle of a magical potion which will aid you on your quest. Each potion contains enough for one measure, so use it wisely. The potions of skill and strength, will fully restore your skill or stamina. Well, it is a potion of stamina then. Will, respectively. The potion of fortune will add 1 to your initial luck before fully restoring your luck points. Which potion will you take on your quest? Oh, first choice, folks. I'll just put skill, stamina, and luck for simplicity. There you go. Vote on the straw poll. Don't yell it in the chat. Vote on the straw poll. This is going to work. If this is going to work, stop chat, spamming chat until the duo has been offered. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, head skull. You didn't realize polls pop up? What do you mean? Using some sort of funky app that makes it so straw polls pop up. Hold on, let me... Oh, nothing at my end. Now appear at the top of Twitch chat. Really? No way. It's not appeared at my end. Maybe I need to put it in again. Hold on. I want to see this. Oh, that's better Twitch TV. Right, I don't have better Twitch TV, so that's why. That'll be why. All right, well, there you go then. I should probably get that installed. But yeah, if you've got, yeah, there you go, folks. If you get better Twitch TV, which probably most of you have, because you're not dinosaurs like me. You get the straw poll on the top of your Twitch chat, so you don't even have to click the link. That's pretty cool, actually. Fair play, Twitch. All right, anyway. So looks like skill. 22 votes for skill, 9 votes for stamina, and 12 for luck. So skill it is. Are you sure you want the potion of skill? Yes. Next, you must prepare your adventurer's equipment. You begin your adventure with a sword and shield, leather armor, a backpack containing provisions, food and drink, and a lantern to light your way. Rationing your provisions is key to a successful adventure. They may be consumed at any time, excluding combat, by accessing the adventure sheet. Each meal restores 4 stamina. Be sure to pay close attention to your stamina and restore it regularly. Your difficulty setting determines how many provisions you begin with. Adventurers and free readers start with 10, while hardcore heroes begin with 3. During your quest, you may encounter characters and items that alter your 3 scores: stamina, skill, and luck. Usually these scores may only ever be restored to their initial amount. On very rare occasions, a particular page may grant an effect that defies this rule. Aside from these occasions, some magic items may also allow you to exceed your initial scores. Okay. So provisions restore 4 stamina per meal. Alright, folks. Right, next page, please. Thank you all. Once you have readied your equipment, you may begin. Okay. Hey! Oh, I set our character as Dudley, by the way. Just because it asked me to choose one when I started up the program, so... Alright. Bookmarks, adventure sheet. Ah, that's just this. Alright, cool. Oh, I can drag it up. There we go. So we've got 10 provisions, potion of skill, sword, leather armor, and shield, and lantern. There you go. 19 stamina, 7 skill, 12 luck. Does look a bit like an orc, doesn't he? Anyway, be good. May the luck of the gods go with you on the adventure ahead, chat. Okay. So, only a foolhardy adventurer would embark upon such a perilous quest without first finding out as much as possible about the mountain and its treasures. Before your arrival at the foot of Firetop Mountain, you spend several days with the humble townsfolk of a village, some 2 days' journey from the base. Being a likable sort of person, apparently. Apparently Twitch chat is likable. You found it easy to get on with the locals. Although they told many stories about the mysterious Warlock Sanctuary, you could not feel sure that all, or indeed any of these, were based on fact. The villagers had seen many adventurers pass through on their way to the mountain, but very few ever returned. The journey ahead was extremely dangerous. That you knew for certain. Of those who returned to the village, none contemplated going back to Firetop Mountain. There seemed to be some truth in the rumour that the Warlock's treasure was stored in a magnificent chest with two locks, and the keys to these locks were guarded by various creatures within the dungeons. The Warlock himself was the sorcerer of great power. Some described him as old, others as young. Some said his power came from an enchanted deck of cards, others from the silky black gloves that he wore. The entrance to the mount was guarded by a pack of warty-faced goblins, stupid creatures fond of their food and drink. Towards the inner chambers, the creatures became more fearsome. To reach the inner chambers, you would have to cross a river. The ferry service was regular, but the ferryman enjoyed good barter, so you should save a gold piece for the trip. The locals also encouraged you to keep a good map of your wanderings, for without a map, you would end up hopelessly lost within the mountain. When it finally came to your day of leaving, the whole village turned out to wish you a safe journey. Tears came to the eyes of many of the villagers, young and old alike. You couldn't help wondering whether they were tears of sorrow shed by eyes which would never see you alive again. Oh no! So yeah. 2 chests and 2 keys, I believe it said. Oh, no, sorry. A chest with 2 locks, with 2 keys for them. And, yeah. Save a gold piece for the ferryman, chat. Now turn over. Oh my god, there it is. These are the original illustrations from the book. At last, your 2-day hike is over. You unsheath your sword, lay it on the ground, and sigh with relief as you lower yourself down to the mossy rocks to sit for a moment's rest. You stretch, rub your eyes, and finally look up at Firetop Mountain. The very mountain itself looks menacing. The steep face in front of you looks to have been savaged by the claws of some gargantuan beast. Sharp, rocky crags jut out at unnatural angles. At the top of the mountain, you can see the eerie red colouring, probably some savage vegetation, which has given the mountain its name. Perhaps no one will ever know exactly what grows up there, as climbing the peak must surely be impossible. Your quest lies ahead of you. Across the clearing is a dark cave entrance. You pick up your sword, get to your feet, and consider what dangers may lie ahead of you. But with determination, you thrust the sword home into its scabbard and approach the cave. You peer into the gloom to see the dark, slimy walls with pools of water on the stone floor in front of you. The air is cold and dank. You light your lantern and step warily into the blackness. Cobwebs brush your face, and you hear the scurrying of tiny feet. Rats, most likely. You set off into the cave. After a few yards, you arrive at a junction. Will you turn west or east? First proper choice, folks. Dun, 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 dun. Which way does your nose tell you to go? Yes. Left, right. Okay, I'll go right. Go left, right. This isn't the fighting fantasy you remember. You may be mistaking this for sorcery. Does sorcery have sweet dungeon animations, especially for when exploring new rooms? Sorcery was also originally a book like this, Nod. I assume you're thinking of the sort of PC game hybrid that is available nowadays on Steam, but the original sorcery series were books just like this. So, I believe I still have the first two on my shelf somewhere. There was the Shamatanti Hills and Kare City Port of Traps. Hello, Zach. Is this some retro-looking stuff? This book was originally written in the 80s, I think. So. Right, West seems to have won it with 24 votes. West it is. There is a right-hand turn to the north in the passage. Cautiously, you approach a sentry post on the corner, and as you look in, you can see a strange goblin-like creature in leather armor asleep at his post. You try to tiptoe past him. Test your luck. If you are lucky, turn to 301. If you are unlucky, turn to 248. Now, you may remember, folks. Oh, look at that! Look at that! The game, right? They threw you a bone, chat. The developers threw you a bone. It's got an auto map. You lucky buggers. I had to do this with a pencil and a piece of paper back in the day. All right, there you go. But anyway, you may remember you rolled a 6 for your luck, so you've got 12. But I think every time you test your luck, you lose a luck point. So the more you test your luck, the harder it becomes. So here we go. 5, 6, 7. You are lucky! You needed a luck score of 12 or below, and rolled a luck score of 7. So basically, because you guys rolled a 6 for your luck, like our first luck test would be an auto pass, basically. So there you go. But now, as you can see, it's gone down to 11. And it's got your initial score in the little thing too, so there you go. But we were lucky. He does not wake up and remain snoring loudly. Good for you, chat, because you guys suck at combat. You continue on. To your left, on the west face of the passage, there is a rough-cut wooden door. You listen at the door and can hear a rasping sound, which may be some sort of creature snoring. Do you want to open the door? Or do you wish to press on northwards? Okay. Ask the goblin why it made the life choices it had. Snoringly ugly. Very good. Kiss the goblin. How soon do you expect us to die? I would be surprised more than can adequately be expressed in words if you guys actually beat this on the first try. I think you're almost certainly doomed. Yeah, as Queen says, you're already dead. It's just a question of how far can you get before you die. No, I don't. I don't expect people to keep voting in chat. Like, don't spam the chat with your votes because it won't count. I'm going purely on the straw poll. All right, everybody pretty much voted for open the door, so let's open the door. The door opens to reveal a small, smelly room. In the center of the room is a rickety wooden table on which stands a lit candle. Underneath the table is a small wooden box. Asleep on a straw mattress in the far corner of the room is a short, stocky creature with an ugly, warty face. The same sort of creature that you found asleep at the sentry post. He must be the guard for the night watch. You may either return to the corridor and press on northwards, or creep into the room and try to take the box without waking the creature. So, marvel at how closely the creature resembles you. Is the creature fierce? I don't know. Right now he's asleep. Maybe these goblins had like had a bit of a party last night. They're all hungover. Didn't get enough sleep. That's why the guy outside at the sentry post is snoring. That's why this guy's asleep. He had a rough night. There you go. Let's try and get the box then. You take a few careful steps closer to the box. Test your luck. You are lucky! You leave the room and open the box in the passage. Inside, you find a single piece of gold and a small mouse, which must have been the creature's pet. Aw, you guys stole his pet! You keep the coin and release the mouse, which scurries off down the passageway. You gain 2 luck points. There you go, you got your luck back from the 2 attempts you've made. That's not bad at all. Back up to 12 luck. Reimbursed, yes. Pet or lunch? Oh, clearly it says pet. It says pet. Word of God says it's pet and not lunch. He's gonna be devastated when he wakes up and finds out his mouse has disappeared. Then, of course, we've already gathered that basically the Twitch character is a greedy bastard because the only reason you're going into Firetop Mountain is to kill the Warlock and take its treasure. So, Warlock's not bothering anyone. You're not trying to save the world here. You're trying to get rich. Life savings are gone too. Yep. Further up the passage along the west wall, you see another door. You listen at it, but hear nothing. If you want to try opening the door, turn to thingy if you want to continue northwards. I have a feeling I know what this one's going to be, but... I shall post it nevertheless. Oh, it's a little more divided than I thought, actually. Interesting. Silent door can't be bad, surely. Chat's being greedy. Yeah, chat is being a bit greedy. Spot says we need to search everything. TJ voted North solely to spite you. Time to Sierra ourselves, yeah. I hope you guys get Sierra'd. It'll be so funny. But more than likely, you'll probably just get killed in a battle with a monster. Alright, 25 votes for open the door, 16 for continue northwards. The door opens to reveal a small room with a stone floor and dirty walls. There is a stale smell in the air. In the center of the room is a makeshift wooden table on which is standing a lit candle. Under the table is a small box. In the far corner of the room is a straw mattress. You may either open the box or leave the room. What's in the box? So, another mouse? That'd be funny. Let's leave the cat alive and dead. Bad feeling about this, yeah. I will, of course, vote for the dumb option. Open that box! Alright, it's 25 votes for open the box, 12 for leave. Box is getting opened. The box is light, but something rattles within. You open the lid and a small snake darts out to bite at your wrist. You must fight! The snake rolled snake eyes as if. Lucky chat. The snake is dead. You are triumphant. We have killed the snake. The box has fallen to the ground during your fight with the snake, and out of it has fallen a bronze-colored key with the number 99 carved into it. You take this key with you and leave the room. You gain 1 luck point. Further up the passage on the west wall, you see another similar door. You listen at the door and grimace to hear the worst singing you have ever heard in your life. Do you want to go into the room to investigate this hideous din? Or his hideous din? I can't decide if that's a typo or not, actually. Or walk on up the passageway. Curiosity will never forsake us, Dave. Never! Bad link. Did I do the wrong one? Sorry. Hold on. There you go. I forgot to click create. I'm a dumbass. There you go. There's a lot of micromanagement involved in this, you know. Sing for your immersion. That's your muffled singing from behind the door. Oh shit, it's close! It's tie. It's tie. It's a tie. A coin flip is in order. Quite possibly, yeah. Do I have a dice or something? Or, yeah, you know, a coin. Me in a house where I fucking record 40k bat reps and I can't find a dice. How's that for irony? Oh, I know where there's some dice. Oh, there we go. No, the tie has been broken. 24 votes to 20 for investigate the singing. Very well. The door opens to reveal a small room. The room is dirty and unkempt. A straw mattress lies in one corner. In the center of the room is a wooden table upon which a candle burns, lighting the room with its flickering flame. A small box rests under the table. Seated around the table are two small creatures with warty skin dressed in leather armor. They are drinking some sort of grog, and, by the way they stagger to their feet on your arrival, you assume they are very drunk. You may either draw your sword and leap forwards at them, or slam the door quickly and run on up the passage. I wouldn't want to eat a goblin. Oh dear. Okay, folks. You choose! Time for combat! Or possibly not. Oh, I've done it wrong again, sorry. Sorry! You gotta remember to hit click create. There we go. There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. I'm gonna let you guys vote on that. I need to go take a piss. BRB. I have returned. So, let us find out. Did the turkeys vote for Christmas? Yes, they did. 25 votes in favor of fight, 21 in favor of running. So, I would like to remind you at this juncture, chat, that you have a skill of 7, which is the worst possible skill score. So, you did roll a 1 when determining your skill for this playthrough. So, yeah. Very good. The two drunken orcs you now face are obviously startled at your entrance, and, as quickly as they're able, they fumble around for their weapons. You must attack each one in turn. Their drunkenness allows you to add 1 point to your skill during this battle. Alright, so you're skill 8 for this battle then. Lucky you. Oh. Oh, I think it's a tie, isn't it? But, the first orc has a skill of 5, so you're probably alright. Yep. Right, now, I believe you can choose to use luck points to inflict more damage. That's what this is here. I don't know if it actually mentioned that in the first bit, but you can use luck to inflict extra damage in a fight. You basically spend a luck point, or a couple of luck points, I forget, in order to do it. In the interests of not slowing it down completely, I won't do a straw poll every time to see if you guys want to spend luck. So, unless the chat like all immediately yells, "Oh God, use the luck," I think we'll probably just fight. Oh dear, double ones. The orc hits you. Oh no. Hit the orc. The first orc is dead. You have defeated first orc. Now you must face second orc. He is stamina 5 and skill 5. Oh, you're doing alright so far, chat. There you go. You are triumphant. I love how the button says excellent. not okay. Excellent. Right. You wipe your bloodied sword on the mattress. The green blood leaves a slimy stain on the straw. Stepping over the bodies towards the table, you flinch at the foul stench of the creatures. You pick up the box from under the table and examine it. It's a small wooden box with crude hinges. The name Ferigo di Maggio is inscribed on a brass nameplate on its lid. Do you wish to open the box? Or do you want to leave it behind and leave the room? That is the question. Because, like, opening boxes hasn't gone badly for you so far. I mean, it hasn't, really. I think this one's probably a no-brainer. Oh, yes. 100%. We shall therefore open the box. The box contains a small leather-bound book entitled The Making and Casting of Dragonfire. Fortunately, it is written in your own language and thus was probably unintelligible to the orcs, otherwise this treasure would certainly not have been as loosely guarded as it was. The book is written in tiny handwriting by Ferigo di Maggio. In it, he tells the story of his life's work, the creation of the Dragonfire spell, which was crafted to fight evil dragons. You read how, in his last years, Ferigo finally perfected his spell, but by then was too old to make use of it. So he completed his book, locked it in a chest, and hid it in the depths of Firetop Mountain, afraid of what might happen were it to fall in the wrong hands. There you go. Is it? There you go. The last page reads, "And so, you who now hold this book, you have my life's work in your hands. The power of destruction is yours if you wish it, but do not waste it. Unless you use the spell for the purpose for which it was intended, You shall be consumed by evil itself and die by the fire from your own hands. Remember, only when the dragon breathes its fire at you should you raise your arms and say, Ekil Erif, Ikam Erif, Erif Erif, Dimagio. You say these words slowly and softly. Suddenly the pages seem to glow. As the glow disappears, the words on the page fade. The words on the page fade with it. You repeat the spell to yourself to memorize it and leave the room. It's perfectly safe with Twitch chat, I'm sure. Should we put in a save point here? Oh yeah, there's bookmarks, right. Here's the thing. Trying to get the thing to pop up. There we go. Go away. There you go. I'll place a bookmark for you. Although, honestly, if you guys die, it will probably make you start again. Because my assumption was that we'd be playing Iron Man. But we'll see. I'll put some bookmarks in anyway, in case you guys decide otherwise. Right, you eventually arrive at the end of the passage at a three-way junction. You may turn either to the west or to the east. So... let's go west. Where's the map? There it is. There's your map so far, by the way, guys. Cave entrance, goblin sentry, guard room, small room, drunken orcs. Alright, slightly in favor of west. Is it randomly generated each time? No, no, no. It's a direct, like, digitized version of the original book. And a book, obviously, cannot be randomly generated. Oh, it's flipped! It's flipped! East is now in the lead. Looks like East has won it. 19 votes, 16 for West. We're going East. Go East! You arrive at another junction in the passage. You may either go northwards or continue eastwards. Alright then. To the north. "19 votes for north, 12 for east." Looks like you're going north. Very well. You see a well-used door on the right-hand east side of the passageway. With your ear to the keyhole, you listen and hear a man screaming for help from the inside. Will you open the door or walk past and ignore the screams? Surely it's a trap. Let's open. Let's be a hero. No one ever got rich by being charitable. Oh, I've done it again, haven't I? Sorry. Create poll. I apologize, folks. I'll get it eventually. There you go. I reckon it's probably going to be voting for open, but I don't know. Oh, Aaron's role-playing it. We're a greedy bastard, not a hero. Fair point. When you reroll the character, call the new guy Dudlink. Well, 19 votes for open, 16 for ignore, 21 votes for open. I think that's probably the lot. So, the door is locked. You may use a skill. You may use your typos, guys. Come on. You may use your skill to try to charge it down. Roll 2 dice. Sadly, you failed the skill check. Oh well. If the number is greater than your skill score, the door remains locked. You ram your shoulder against the door to no avail. You lose 1 stamina for your bruised shoulder. You continue along the passage. Okay, further up the passage, you see a door in the east wall. You listen hard, but can hear no sound. Do you want to open the door to investigate, or walk further up the passage? Oh, I nearly did it again. Sorry. Oh, there we go. Doors are always the biggest problem enemy in D&D and other such games. Fair point. Fair point. Adventurers do seem to have more trouble with doors than they do with monsters. Another snack. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? $27 votes for open the door, 8 for leave. You guys are really determined to get yourselves killed, huh? The door is firmly locked. You may try to force it open or continue along the corridor. Well, you've tried it once already, chat. Remind me what the definition of insanity is. Not this enemy again. definition of insanity is leaving a locked door untried. Okay, 20 votes for force it open, 8 for leave. Seems pretty conclusive. You charge the door, hitting it squarely with your shoulder. You deftly passed the skill check. Excellent. There you go. Well done, chat. Well done. You defeated a door. The door splits along its length, and you can wrench the timbers apart to let yourself in. A torch hangs from one wall, lighting up a small armory room stocked with swords, shields, helmets, daggers, breastplates, and the like. You examine the weaponry and find nothing appearing superior to your own sword. However, a circular iron shield with a golden crescent at its center catches your eye. You pick it up and feel its weight on your arm. This shield will aid you in battle by helping to fend off damage. If you're using this shield and a creature wounds you, you may throw 1 die. If you throw a 6, the creature inflicts only 1 point of damage instead of the normal 2. If, for some reason, the creature would normally only inflict 1 point of damage, then a successful roll of 6 would mean that no damage is done. Hey, you got a 6 plus feel no pain. You add the crescent shield to your gear, leave the room and continue on up the corridor. On the east wall of the passage, you see another door, this time made of solid metal. Listening at the door, you hear the sound of tortured screams coming from within. If you wish to try opening the door, turn to 102. If you decide to ignore this room and continue up the corridor, turn to 303. Alright. Sorry, I keep knocking my mic. What we lack in skill, we make up for in judgment. You know. Says the Twitch chat who opened the snake box. But, yeah. Starting to see a pattern here, yeah. Here's the door. Do you want to go in? Okay, no. Here's another door. Do you want to go in? Here's another door. Do you want to go in? Bearing in mind, folks, this is the first Fighting Fantasy game book ever, so it's a bit basic in places. You killed that snake, and you well know it. A hero can't ignore the screams of the innocent. Twitch chat is the hero we definitely didn't deserve, but it's the one we have right now, whether we like it or not. Oh, it's a close one. It is a close one. 19 votes for open the door, 18 for ignore and leave. We want money. We rescued a mouse from the clutches of a foul goblin pet owner who always gave him cheese snacks all day. Yes, yes, you were clearly just caring for the animals. It wasn't the gold piece that you found in there as well, by any chance. It's now 21 votes for ignore and leave. Ignore and leave is in the lead by 1 vote. A single vote. Interesting how there's 84 people watching and less than half of them vote. Probably because, like, the other half are watching on mobile devices and stuff. Changed. Oh, open the doors in the lead again now. All right, I'm gonna have to call this one. Going. 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 Gone. All right, opening the door. The door is not locked and opens. The room in front of you seems to be a small torture chamber with various torture devices around the walls. In the center of the room, two small hunchback creatures are torturing a dwarf who is tied to a hook in the ceiling by his wrists. The two hunchbacks are poking and cutting him viciously with their swords. The dwarf lets out a final scream and falls silent, eyes closed. His captors make disappointed noises and look around angrily at you as if it were your fault that the dwarf has collapsed. You must act quickly. Will you? Close the door quickly and continue up the corridor. Draw your sword and try to fight the creatures. Stride over to the dwarf, give him a jab with your sword, and put on an evil laugh for the torturers. I can already tell what chat's going to vote for, but we'll do it anyway. Yeah, that's pretty much as I expected. 25 votes for poke the dwarf and laugh, 4 for run away, and 10 for fight. All right, that one's pretty clear as crystal, I think. 30 votes. 68% voted for poke the dwarf and laugh. So the two goblin torturers look at each other, amazed, then look at you. They chatter to themselves and then indicate for you to wait while they go off and get another dwarf to give them some more fun. They disappear out of the room, and you cut down the dwarf, who is, as you guessed, quite dead. You decide it best to leave and press on up northwards up the corridor. You arrive at the end of the passage, where it meets another going east-west, but an iron portcullis blocks your way, and no amount of charging is going to budge it. On the wall to your right are 2 levers, and it seems likely that these levers have something to do with raising the portcullis. You wish to pull the right lever or the left lever? Charge regardless! So, are you going to pull the right lever, chat? Or is the right lever the wrong lever? No! So you're in a psychological game now. Do you pull the right lever because right lever is the right lever? Or do you think Steve Jackson and Ian Livingston expected you would think that and therefore made the left lever the right one? Or did they expect that you would think that and therefore make the right lever the right lever? We don't know. We're going to gloss over the fact that those hunchbacks have an endless supply of dwarves to torture. Yeah, I guess so. Lie down against the gate and take a nap. Get against the gate and take a nap. Also, I should remind you guys, you do have provisions. Remember that. Your stamina currently stands at 16 of 19. You've got your potion of skill. You've got your 10 provisions, as well as gold pieces, and your bronze key, and your dragon fire spell. And as a reminder, in case you weren't here at the very start, consuming a unit of provisions will heal 4 stamina points. Yes, they heal 4 stamina. Real men don't eat, we do photosynthesis. You found a shield earlier. You found a shield. Is what you found earlier. The crescent shield. That's what gives you the 6+ halving damage thing. In the Kai series, you need to do a food check once in a while. If you don't have food, you will lose health. I believe there are some bits in these books where it's like it actually instructs you in the text to consume a unit of provisions, and if you don't have any, then you lose stamina points. But it's been a while, so I don't remember 100% for certain. All right, left lever it is. The people voted. To your horror, you realize that this dummy lever was a trap. Although it looked like a handle, it was in fact a wax-coated sword blade and has now cut your hand badly. Did you use your right or your left hand? Ooh. It's like the urban myth about posters with razor blades on them. Who grabs it so tightly that it cuts himself right away. Well, it's a lever, right? So you actually to pull the lever, you need to apply a fair bit of strength on it, right? So all right, well, let me make another straw poll. It's our right hand, the dummy hand. Screw the right is, yeah. You picked the wrong hand and die of tetanus, game over. Which hand pulls your lever? Alright, chat seems to have voted for left hand, so I wonder if the writers anticipated this. Wait, what? Did I just misclick? I think I just misclicked. It says right hand. You used your right hand to pull the lever? Roll to determine whether you're right. Oh, okay. It doesn't actually matter which one you pick. Roll to determine whether your right hand is your dominant hand and whether this injury will affect your sword fighting prowess. So, yeah, I think whichever option you picked, it would have been the same. So, you rolled 5. The number you rolled is even. Wait, what? 5 is an odd number, game. The book's screwing with us. Okay. The hand you used to pull the trick lever was not your dominant hand, so the injury is not quite as so troublesome as it might have been. All right. Okay. The glitch gods smiled upon us there. We got lucky there. But yeah, that was 5 is not an even number. The book needs some bug testing. Yeah, this is version 6, by the way. It said so on the cover. Version bloody 6. Anyway, 5 in Roman numbers is V. Even contains a V, therefore 5 is an even number. So you lose 1 skill point and 2 stamina. Oh boy, now you have a skill of 6. Chat. Feel bad for you. You got 14 stamina now. In the far future, books contain bugs. What a time to be alive. Well, you know. Nowadays it's bugs. With a book. Back in the day, it would be a typo or something, wouldn't it? Or a printing error. But of course, you've got an editor who's supposed to take care of that. Eat the lantern. Yeah, do you guys want to take some provisions? Restore 4 stamina points. Chival says no. We can straw poll it if you want. Most of you folks are saying yes, so I think we'll do it. There you go. You're back up to 18 stamina now. Alright. You are down a skill point, though. You are now officially, chat, only slightly more skilled than a drunken orc. You have 1 more skill point than a drunk orc. You hear a deep rumbling noise, and the ground begins to shudder. Slowly and noisily, the portcullis rises into the ceiling. You may now walk to the junction. Will you turn west or east? Alright. Can you see the map? Yes, you can. I shall show you the map. Ooh, go away. I said go away. Oh, yeah. There's your map. Cave entrance, goblin sentry, guard room, small room, drunken orcs, armory, torture chamber, portcullis. I'm not sure how much sense this map actually makes, but hey ho. Yes, indeed, armory with a U. had gone right after the drunken orcs who would have reached the portcullis? Quite possibly, yeah. It did mention when you came to the portcullis there was another passageway intersecting. So... I'll admit I didn't used to draw the maps like this when I played it. I drew an actual map with, like, actual corridors and stuff. Although, you know, I had to frequently rub stuff out with an eraser. But, yeah, that's how I did it. So, chat seems to have voted for west. So, west it is. Shortly along the passage, you arrive at another junction. You may either go straight ahead westwards or northwards. Draw maps like this for your pen and paper players will drive them mad. Okay. I say we politely ask the denizens of this dungeon to take us to their leader. Junctions and doors, when will it end? Yeah, it's a little basic. It is a lot of junctions and doors, but like I said, it's the first fighting fantasy book ever, so I can remember some of them that get a lot more in depth than this. God forbid we hit a roundabout. Oh boy, you guys are gonna have so much fun with the labyrinth section if you make it that far. Although, because you've got a map, it'll probably help a lot. Yes, labyrinth. Yes, yes. There is indeed a labyrinth in this book. Alright, 12 votes for north, 11 for west. It was close, but we're going north. The passage runs for some distance northwards and then starts to open into a large cavern with rough walls. There appears to be no way through. Will you return to the junction or enter the cavern? That is the question, chat. What could possibly be waiting in this large cavern? New friends! Riches untold! Cavern within a cave, yes. Is that so unusual? They aren't the same thing, after all. The cavern couldn't possibly be dangerous, could it? No, of course not. Riddles in the dark, precious, yes. What has it got in its pockets? Well, yeah, it is pretty one-sided. Enter the cavern! As you enter the cavern, you hear loud footsteps behind you, crunching heavily on the rocky floor. You crouch down beside the entrance in a small alcove in the rock. The steps get louder, and you see a great ogre enter the cavern. He stands over 2 meters tall and is dressed in ill-fitting garments made from some sort of hide. He carries a large wooden club. You may attack him as he enters. Try to creep out without him noticing you. Try to distract him by throwing something into a far corner of the cavern. Ooh. Ooh. Ah, but he's over 2 meters tall, Spot. It says over 2 meters tall. So, attack, sneak away, distract the ogre. This shall be an interesting one. Ogre 2 meters tall. Up we go, though. You and your punnery. Okay. 18 votes for distract the ogre. Cowards. Super high luck is great and all, but chat never picks the luck options. Yes. Chat's always like, charge! Quite often. With your 6 skill. Your drunken orc skill. This is really fun. Do you plan on doing this more often? For sure. Yeah, we can do the other books. There's plenty in this collection. Plus there's other stuff too. You know, like there's the sorcery games on Steam. And hell, to be honest with you, I could probably get one of the books off my shelf one of these days and I could just read it. Where do you get this collection? It's on Steam. It is on Steam. If you type in Fighting Fantasy on the Steam store, you'll get it. Alright, I guess we're distracting the ogre. Or attempting to, at least. You open your pack and reach inside for something suitable to throw across the cavern. Your fingers catch hold of a gold piece. You throw it across the cavern, where it lands with a clatter. The ogre looks towards the noise and goes over to investigate. Ha ha! Greedy chat! You've thrown away some of your gold! You fools! Cabbages. Yeah, you do need a gold piece for the ferryman. It's true. Meanwhile, you creep out down the passage and back to the junction. You arrive back at the junction and turn westwards. Out of curiosity. Currency. No currency! You have no monies. At least that's the way it seems. You threw away your gold piece for the ferryman. Let's see if you can't find another. Passageway continues westwards and then turns due north. Some way up, you reach a junction where a narrow passage runs off to the west. Now we have to find another gold piece to throw as a distraction so we can get our gold piece back here. Okay, so are we going north or west? Tis the question of the day. Narrow passage to the west, or keep going north? The choice is yours, chat. As always. 15 votes for north, 11 for west. Pay the ferryman with special services. Not sure that's an option. As your dungeon master, I'm officially not allowing this. I saw a great alignment thing, actually, on the subject of D&D parties and stuff like that. Saw a great alignment chart someone posted on Twitter a while ago. Like, you know how normally you have, like, you know, neutral good, lawful good, chaotic good, neutral evil, lawful evil, blah blah blah, and then chaotic neutral, and so on and so on. You know, the D&D alignment thing. Someone posted a diagram that was an alignment system that was basically 3 points at a triangle, on a triangle sort of scale, and it was lawful stupid in one corner, neutral edgy at the top, and in the bottom left corner it was chaotic horny. I was like, yeah, that seems quite accurate, actually. Neutral, edgy, lawful, stupid, and chaotic horny. This is a Christian Minecraft server. Lawful trying to do the right thing, but always mocked for it. Chaotic Horny is definitely the player that was always like, I want to seduce the villain. Right. Looks like you're going north, chat. Several meters up the passageway, you arrive at a junction where you may turn either west or east. Set in the rock in the north wall is a small recess where you may safely rest. After taking a moment to recover your strength, you look at the two paths before you. You may set off either eastwards or westwards. More passageway choices. Oh. Let me know if you would like to look at the map. Ah, there you go. Can we see the map? Yes, you can. So there was the Ogre's Cave. Interesting. It seems to have... Well, there was the Portcullis. Ogre's Cave. Doesn't seem to have branched off from there yet. So the map is not actually that helpful. Apologies. Don't poke any doors without you, okay. Alright. Oh, it's close. 14 for west, 12 for east. Alright, I think it's west. We're going west. You walk westwards along the passageway. After 50 meters or so, the way turns northwards. 2 or 3 paces up the passage, you hear a crumbling beneath your feet and you try to leap back as the ground gives way. Test your luck. And that's a pass. Yep. You manage to leap quickly backwards before a pit opens. You reach the junction and continue eastwards. You follow the passage eastwards for several meters, then it turns to the north. Shortly, you reach another junction where you may either go straight on, or you may turn right into an eastwards passage that soon turns north. Okay. Create poll. Them's your choices. Most of you seem to be voting for straight on. Fair enough. Yep, that's a landslide. Alright, straight on. Passage ends at a wooden door trimmed in iron. Various inscriptions adorn the door, but none make any sense to you. You listen, but hear nothing. Have another look at the map if you like. But the map, unfortunately, does not appear to be updating, so, sorry, boys. Think you're screwed. The map is in your head now. Don't think the map updates until the next event. Yeah, maybe that's right. It's not a very good map then, is it? Cast the spell at the door. No, you can't do that. You have to use that on the dragon. That's the point of it. Oh. You poll. I know there's a few of you in here who are fans of Variax. Anyone else hyped at him doing his Shivering Isles playthrough? I sure as shit fucking am. Because not only do I get to watch him play the Shivering Isles blind, because he's never played the Shivering Isles before, because, I don't know, just hasn't for some bizarre reason. Also, I haven't actually played the Shivering Isles myself in years and years and years. It's going to be really cool to see it again. Okay, open the door. Or return to the junction. Yeah. Also streaming near him on Saturday nights as well. As I said, I want to stream Enderall, but I'm waiting for it to be released on Steam, so that I don't have to bugger up my Claudius installation of Skyrim in order to install it. Do a variax and delete all my save games, so... I have played a fair bit of Nero before. I don't think I ever got very far with it, though. Pretty one-sided. Yeah, that's what I figured. Chat does love a door. So... The door opens into a small room, comfortably furnished with a table, several chairs, and a large bookcase which covers one wall. Seated at the table is an old man with a long grey beard. And squatting on the old man's shoulder is a small winged beast. This creature is no more than 6 centimeters tall. It has 2 arms and legs. Its skin is a dusty grey colour. It has tiny sharp white teeth and its wings are folded behind its back. The old man says nothing as you walk in through the door, but he beckons you over to sit down at the table. He is tossing in his hand 2 small white objects. And there is the lovely illustration. Will you sit down as he requests? Leave the room and return to the junction. Draw your... Oh, God. Draw your sword and rush forward. Alright. Don't spoil for people, Headskull. Don't influence chat's decision making. Seduce. I believe they actually made Steve Jackson and Ian Livingston, or one of the two anyway. I think it might have been Steve Jackson. They actually did make an advanced fighting fantasy rule set, which was a hex-based role-playing game like Dungeons and Dragons. Obviously, it never took off like D&D did, but I still remember reading the rule book ages and ages ago. They released 2 books like that. There was the one that it was the first adventure they put out was called Black Sand, if I recall. I used to have that book. I don't know what happened to it, but and there was also a book that they released which contained basically all of the lore for the fighting fantasy universe as well, which was quite cool. There's a whole the Warlock Zagor in this, Balthus Dire in Citadel of Chaos. What's the other guy? There's another guy. There's a couple of other guys, and like it talks about how like they're all students of some evil wizard at one point or another. They're all best buds. All these evil bad guys you fight in the books. There's a whole detailed like lore and world and stuff behind all of these books. You see. Well, let's see. Only 5 of you voted to attack. I am impressed by your restraint, chat. As soon as I saw that option, I was like, right, chat's going to attack. Chat's just going to go berserk and attack him. This fella sounds like one the GM will punish the party if they misbehave against him. You voted attack, Prince of God. 5 of you did. 5 of you did vote for attack. Alright, so let's sit down. The old man does not look up from the table, but his devilish little pet eyes you suspiciously and starts chattering in a small, squeaky voice. The old man grunts and asks whether you are game for a wager. Will you accept? You may only do so if you have at least 1 gold piece. Shame you threw that away, chat. If not, you may either leave the room or attack the man. Oh boy. Oh boy. Alright. Oh yeah, here it comes. Here it comes. Here's the avalanche of attack votes. This is what I was expecting. He admits he has money. He has money, get him. Okay, Leaves catching up a little bit, but it's still squarely in the favor of attack. I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. I will remind you, chat, that you have a grand total of 6 skill. You are, as I said, slightly more skilled. You are 1 point more skilled than a drunk orc. There you go. You have 6 skill. And half as smart, yeah. Alright, votes are in, folks. Time to attack. As you draw your sword, the winged gremlin flaps into the air and attacks you, while the old man rushes over to the bookshelf, touches a book, and escapes through a secret doorway that opens for him. But you must fight his pet. Okay. It's not a good start. You didn't get your 6 plus feel no pain with the shield either. Now you can also use luck to half damage in the similar fashion to the shield does if you roll a 6. You will spend a luck point to do that. We've got 11 at the moment. Oh, it's controversial. It's controversial. It's controversial. Oh, I did it wrong again, sorry. I am a dumbass. Crom laughs at your luck. He laughs from his mountain. This dramatic music fits the battle in the chat. Okay, most of you are voting don't use luck. Alright. Ah! Now, again, you can use luck to do extra damage. But I, of course, leave it up to you, chat. So... fight, stab, kill, destroy! And the monster with luck. Alright, fine. Seduce the monster. You are lucky. Your weapon hits hard. Do 2 more damage. So yeah, it looks like you do actually have to do a luck test in order for that to work. So yeah, you've got 10 luck now. Oh, it's a draw. You both miss. Ah, you got lucky, chat. You've done it. You did. You are triumphant. You search the room. Try as you may, you cannot find the secret switch to open the door in the bookshelf. The old man must have locked it from the inside. You do find 5 gold pieces in a drawer in the table. There you go, chat. You got your money. The chat goes nuts. Gold, money, yay! All right, you arrive back at the junction and take. And this time take the passageway to the east. The passageway runs for several paces eastwards, then turns north. The passageway ends in a door. You press your ear to it and listen, but hear nothing. Trying the handle, you find that the door opens to reveal a large, square room. The room is completely bare, but the floor is covered in a mosaic of tiles. 2 shapes stand out on the floor, star-shaped tiles and hand-shaped tiles. A door on the opposite wall is the only way through. Will you walk across the room to the door, walk across the room stepping only on stars, walk across the room stepping only on hands? Ooh. Okay. Jehovah begins with an I. It's not necessarily 50-50. Well, I suppose it is, really. Because, well... I don't know. Because 3 of you voted to just simply walk across. 13 for step on the hands. 11 for the stars. It's close, people. It's close. I was listening to for the context. Please don't let me kill chat. Yeah. Oh, it's even now. 50-50 on hands and stars. Those boys and girls. It's close. Time to toss a coin. Before you walk across, nothing happens, yeah. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh! Step on the Stars in the lead. 15 votes for Step on the Stars. Going. 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 Gone. Stepping on the Stars. You tiptoe precariously across the room to the door on the north wall. You open the door and proceed through it. Okay. Maybe you made the right choice, chat. Maybe it didn't matter. The passageway ahead runs northwards, and you follow this until you reach another junction. Here you may either continue northwards, or you may turn westwards. More junctions. Yes. Is the map updated? Yes, it did. There you go. You got the gambler and the tiled room. It's not a very good map, unfortunately. Like I said, when I read these books, when I was a young'un, I used to make a map properly on paper, where I'd draw out the corridors and the rooms. You do have a key from the snack. $15 votes for north, 14 for west. I will call it there, I think. The passageway ends in a solid doorway, and you are surprised to see a leather skirt tacked along the bottom of the door. You listen, but hear nothing. Will you enter the room or return to the junction? Chat does love a door. Chat does love a door, but I will put it to a vote regardless. Is this even a question? Wear the skirt, yeah. Do you even need a poll? Well, man, you know, that could, you don't know what could be in there. It's not a video game where all doors must contain something of value. You could get Sierra'd. You could open a door and fall straight into a pit and immediately die. In fact, I'm pretty sure that does even happen once, if I recall, in a book. I think, yeah, it's kind of a bit like the one where the floor fell out earlier and you had to do a luck test, and if you fail it, it's like instant death. At least we died doing what we love. Opening doors. Alright. You guys are going in the room. pretty unanimous. You enter a small room with bare, rocky walls. On the far wall hangs a golden key. There appears to be no way through the room. Do you want to go for the key, or leave it alone and return to the junction? Is it a trap? Or is it one of the keys that you need for the treasure chest at the end? Charge covetously towards it. How much of a bunch of magpies are you, chat? Do you want the shiny, or is it maybe a trap? Maybe it's not a trap. You never know. You're playing that mind game again with the authors. Damn it, chat. 21 votes for get the key, 5 for leave. All right, boys and girls. As you step into the room, the door swings shut behind you. As it closes, there is a click and a hiss. From the center of the ceiling, a jet of gas begins filling the room with an acrid vapor. You breathe and cough violently. You look at the door, and then the key. Will you return to the door and escape quickly, or hold your breath and dash for the key first? Oh! My precious. My precious. Used to get the precious. Mag chat. Oh, you've all voted to try and get the key. Alright. Hold your breath and dash for the key first. You snatch the key from its hook. It has the number 125 inscribed on it, but your lungs are bursting. Roll 2 dice. Oh no! Oh no! If you roll less than or equal to your skill score, you make it across the room to the door. Chat, you have a skill of 6. If you get an average roll, you're dead. You need to roll less than average. Skill potion? You want to drink the skill potion? Okay, we can drink the skill potion. Right, you've got 7 skill now. So you just need to roll average. Oh, you're so fucked. Oh well. You are forced to take a breath of poison gas. Your skill is reduced by 2 and your stamina by 3. You dash for the... Right, so now you did not die, to my amazement. But you now have a skill of 5. You are literally drunken orc skill tier. And your stamina is down to 13. You arrive at the door, struggle with the lock, and open the door. You burst out, closing the door behind you, and take several deep breaths. Yes, the skirt under the door was a hint, wasn't it? Because it was it did make it airtight. As one of you I saw pointed out in the chat earlier before you opened it. You got the shiny. Nearly killed yourselves, but you got the shiny. You return to the junction. You arrive back at the junction and this time turn right. So at this point I feel it's worth pointing out you may wish to consume some more provisions. And half as smart, yeah. Okay, you're now up to 17. You could consume more provisions, but you'd only get 2 health back for it, 2 stamina. Whereas normally they restore 4. So... where's your 5 gold? Good question, actually. Well, we know you've got 5 gold, chat. But you have key at 125 and a bronze key with 99 on it. Okay. Somewhere along the passage, the corridor bends round to north, and you follow it until you reach another junction. At this junction, you see an arrow cut in the rock, pointing to the north. And you decide to try this direction. The passage runs northwards, and ahead, you can hear the splashing of an underground river. The air becomes cool and fresh. You soon reach a wide opening of a riverbank, but despair as you look across to see no way through on the other side. To the east, the river flows through a cave in the rock. You may sit, rest, and eat provisions if you wish. Turn to 143. Or continue by what seems to be the only way forwards, jumping into the river and swimming downstream. Railroaded! Yes, railroaded. Bad DM. Alright. This has got to be thrilled. The ferryman, yep. You were told about the ferryman. How long are we going for tonight? We've probably got another... I'd say another... I'll give you another... Yeah, another like 30 minutes. Okay. 22 votes for sit and wait, 12 for jump in the river. You squat on the sandy bank. As you prepare your meal, you notice movement in the sand a couple of meters to your left. The movement becomes quite turbulent, and you spring to your feet, sword at the ready. Suddenly, a large tubular head breaks through the surface, twists around in the air, and picks up your scent. The smooth, segmented body of a giant sandworm reaches up, rears up even, and sways over in your direction. As it does so, a large orifice with short, spiky teeth opens in what must be its head. You must fight! Should have walked without rhythm, chap. Oh, it's got 7 skill. It's more skilled than you. Oh dear. Do you want to do a luck test and reduce the damage, chat? Nah, says spot. Nah, safe for damage. Okay. Endure, says random tree guy. Well, that was a good roll. Okay, so I assume now you want to do a luck test for damage? Yes. Yes, okay. You are lucky. You do 2 more damage. Right. Apparently you can try and escape now. That sure as shit wasn't an option in the book. Alright, I think we need a poll for that one. Alright. Oh, you all voted fight. On your head be it. Uh-oh. Now, do you wish to fight or escape? Or use luck to reduce damage? Fight, fight, fight! Kill the worm, fight! Fight, yells the chat, fight! Eat the worms, says random tree guy. Fight, fight, fight! Second Sin says run away. Oh dear. It's not going well, chat. Fight! They all want to fight. Oh my god, it says tactical retreat! Seduce! Says Frenchie. We've got him right where we want him. Alright. Oh dear. Sensing a pattern here. It's only a flesh wound. Fight, 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 fight. Oh dear. Oh, there you go. Okay, now. It has 1 stamina left. I'm assuming now, yeah, you guys want to use luck? Okay. You are lucky. You are triumphant. Oh yeah, look, there you go. There is an option. If you wanted to escape after 3 attack rounds, you may dive into the river and swim downstream. Oh, I didn't see that. Most because it didn't let me turn the page before the attack thing came up, but whatever. If you bested this gargantuan horror, which you guys did eventually, turn to 44. Now, oh no, we can change our name and portrait whenever we like, apparently. That's a thing. Holy shit, we're gonna be a rhino, dude. Anyway. Oh, I know there's some other stuff. Retro mode. The fuck's retro mode? Oh, that makes it look like that. Eat to heal. Yeah, so I thought you guys might want to do. Right, you've consumed 1. You could get your health back up to 18. Oh, sorry, no, 17. Another! You're like Thor right now. Smash the glass on the ground. Another! Alright. Yeah, let's get you back up to 17. There you go. Cool. Panting after the struggle, you sit down to collect yourself and finish the provisions you started. You regain 4 stamina. Lol. Alright, never mind. Right, well, you're back up to full stamina at least now. You will have regained like another 2 there. Yeah, you're back up to full stamina. That. I wonder if that. I think that was one of those forced consumptions of provisions I mentioned. Alright, when you're finished, you pack your bag and wade into the stream. The current is strong and takes you swiftly downstream. You're washed along through a narrow opening and out into a large cavern with banks on both sides. The current washes you onto the south bank. You're on the south bank of an underground river facing across its black depths. There appear to be 4 ways of crossing. To your left, a rusted bell bears the sign "Ferry Service, 2 gold pieces, please ring." There is a small raft in front of you on the bank with a long stick resting beside it. You could punt across the river. A rickety old bridge crosses on the right. If you don't trust any of these, you may swim. How will you cross the river? Alright. Ferryman has gold. Call him and kill him. Since the drawings came from the original books, is the story also the same? Yep. As far as I can tell, it's exactly the same as the original book. Kill the ferryman and nationalize the ferry service. Alright, it seems to be fairly unanimous. You guys want to ring the bell and call the ferryman. I thought it might be more split than that, but fair dues. The bell gives a dull clang, and after a few moments, you see a withered old man climb into a small rowing boat moored on the north bank. He rows slowly across to you, moors the boat, and limps towards you. He asks you for 3 gold pieces. When you protest at the price, he mumbles some flimsy excuse about inflation. He begins to get angry at your protestations. Do you pay him the 3 gold pieces? 272 or threaten him? Yeah, that's odd, isn't it? Because you guys got 5 gold from attacking the old man, but the game doesn't seem to think you do. Yeah, I'm afraid you've been screwed, folks. You're gonna have to threaten him. This is, yeah. I feel like you almost want to play in free read mode to get around shit like this. Unfortunately, but never mind. We rightfully stole it from the old man. Oh well. He doesn't take at all kindly to your threats. As you argue and his anger builds, you notice a transformation taking place. He begins to straighten up and grows physically stronger in front of your eyes. Its face and arms grow hairy. His teeth become sharp and pointed. You must make a quick decision. Will you offer him 5 gold pieces to calm him down, or prepare to attack him? Oh dear. He now stands just under 2 meters tall. He advances towards you. His body is hairy, his teeth are pointed, his eyes flash. His fingernails are sharp claws, his nose has become a rat-like snout. He is a were-rat! You must fight! He has 8 skill, holy shit. But you're off to a good start. You got very lucky there. Luck. You guys are yelling luck. Remember, you lose a luck point every time you do this. You're only on 8 luck now. Don't care. Luck. You are lucky, just. Right. He's on 1 stamina. Oh, you lucky gits. Alright. Fair enough. Considering the game didn't recognize that you still had 5 gold, this is fair. Dice gods. The dice gods were merciful. The were-rat slumps to the ground. You search his body and find 2 gold pieces, his fare from the last crossing. You curse him for trying to overcharge you. You add the 2 gold pieces to your bag and row yourself across the river. Add 2 luck points. There you go. As you moor the boat on the north bank, you look back at the body. It has vanished. In before you guys are like right near the end of Firetop Mountain and a were-rat just appears like, where's my money, bitch? Dun dun dun, indeed. Did you actually get the gold this time? Good question. We'll go to the next page. Yes, it actually registered it this time. You have 2 gold pieces. There you go. Nuffle giveth, Nuffle taketh away, yes. I think our moronic protagonist ate the previous 5 coins. Alright. You've arrived on the north bank of a fast-flowing river in a large underground cavern. Facing northwards, the rock face is smooth and glistening with moisture. Moss of many different hues grows on the surface. There is an eerie silence, punctuated only by the splashing of the river as it flows behind you. You have 3 options. A passage runs off to the northwest. If you take this route, turn 271. A large timber door is directly in front of you in the middle of the rock face. If you open the door, turn to 104. Another passage runs out along the river eastwards. To follow this along the riverbank, turn to 99. So, let's see. Northwest passage. Open the door. And east passage. Alright. Create poll. Yes, you may check the map. Let's have a look. There you go. South bank of river. Golden key, tiled room. Yeah, as someone pointed out, the map pretty much just only lists the major encounters. So as a map, it's not amazingly helpful, really, but Oh well. At least you've got the north, west, and east kind of general directions. And judging by the progress, at least, you guys are closer to the end now than you are to the start, so... There is a door, we don't need a pole. Open the door, yells the chat, yeah. You find yourself in a short, narrow passageway with a door ahead to the north. You try this door. The door squeaks open on rusty hinges. The room is dark and your eyes begin to adjust as you close the door behind you. You hear a shuffling in the room, but before you can react, a blow to your head knocks you senseless. Lose 2 stamina points. If you're still alive, turn to 122. You awake... Oh, creepy. You awake with a throbbing head and look around. The room is about 8 meters square with doors to the north and south. You've been dumped in the southwest corner. Standing motionless in the center of the room are 4 men. At least, they appear to be men. Their skin is a greeny-grey color. Their clothes are tattered and torn, and they are all staring vacantly at the ceiling. One carries a club, one a scythe, one an axe, and one a pick. They're ignoring you completely. Around the room are various peasant-style weapons, pitchforks, axe handles, pointed sticks, etc. 1 or 2 shields and several barrels. In the northeast corner is a human corpse with a sword in one hand and a shield in the other. You move your hand up to your... You move your hand up to your hand, really? Guys. You move your hand up to your head to feel for signs of blood, and you are relieved to find you are not bleeding. But as your hand moves, the strange creatures in the center of the room turn their eyes down towards you. Do you try to talk to them? Jump to your feet and charge them with your sword. Scramble for an exit through the south door. Stab the corpse and laugh, yeah. Alright. Could this be the end of chat? Do they have gold, though? Let's make friends. You're a likable fellow. The intro said so. Must be true. Time to Sir Robin our way out of this, yeah. They didn't kill you, did they? They knocked you unconscious, but they didn't kill you. They quite easily could have, it seems, but they chose not to for some reason. Okay, chat has pretty much overwhelmingly voted for talk. The vocabulary is limited to a series of moans and groans. They appear not to be intelligent at all. Furthermore, your conversation merely serves to attract their attention to you. They grip their weapons, and it looks as though you will have to fight them. However, there is a slim chance that you could make it to the door you came through. If you want to try and escape through that door, turn to 13. If you've resigned yourself to a battle, turn to 282. Alright. Options have been narrowed. Along with your chances of survival. Ho 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 ho! Fighting has done us proud so far. Yeah, in spite of everything. In spite of your appallingly low skill score, you've done alright in fights, although you've had to expend vast quantities of luck. Do you still have your potion? No, you guys drank it. You dudes drank it. When you were in the gas trap room with the key, you guys drank the skill potion to restore your skill, just so you could succeed at the skill test. And I believe you failed anyway, didn't you? Yeah, you did. Look at the results. 14 for flee, 12 for fight. It's a slim margin. It looks like flee is winning it. So let's try and flee. Your head hurts and you feel dizzy as you rise to your feet. The four men stir into action and move towards you in single file with their weapons ready. You grope your way down the wall for the south door, but it will be a touch and go whether you make it. Your foot slips on a loose pebble and you fall to the ground. Before you can regain your footing, the creatures are upon you. The four creatures shuffling towards you are mindless zombies. Their vacant eyes suggest that their actions are controlled by a will which is not their own. Yeah, you guys got railroaded again by the DM, I think. Yeah, their actions are controlled by a will which is not their own. You are still too dizzy to think properly, but you must act quickly. The first zombie reaches you and prepares to swing its club. You must fight. Alright. Quite a bit of stamina, these zombies. Oh boy, that's not a good start. That's also not good. Well, chat. Fight, 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 they say. It's not like it. Oh, the crescent shield saved you a damage point there. You only take 1 damage. Oh, this is not good. Ah, no. You can tell I'm rolling these. Very funny. It's a problem. You guys' skill is just too low. And the rolls do kind of suck. But, yeah. Ah, dude. This was only the first zombie. The next hit will kill us if we don't pass a luck check, guys. Oh, You don't get a chance to pass a luck check. You are overcome by your enemies. Ouch. If the band of zombies manages to defeat you, you are dead. The perils of Firetop Mountain have bested you, thwarting your quest to defeat the Warlock. The end. How did you make it this far? Well, you know, I am a little surprised, but yeah, especially with that skill score. I mean, wow. Now the zombies have your gold, yep. There you go. That was the Warlock of Firetop Mountain. That was the first Fighting Fantasy game book. So, I think next Monday, if you guys are up for it, we can try another one. There was actually another one they did called Return to Firetop Mountain. It was a kind of sort of sequel, if I recall. But yes, we can have a go at the other ones. Obviously, game book number 2 is the Citadel of Chaos, which I have played and completed. It was one of the easier ones from what I remember, actually, the Citadel of Chaos. But you've got all sorts here. The House of Hell, which is the horror story one. It's not set in the fantasy universe, that one. It's a horror thing. You go to an abandoned, you know, an old, you know, mansion in the night, in the storm, and it's spooky and stuff. It'd be a good Halloween one, that, actually. You got City of Thieves, which obviously is set in a city. There you go. Terror stalks the night as Zanbar Bone and his bloodthirsty moondogs hold the prosperous town of Silverton to ransom. Amongst the twisting, treacherous streets of Port Blacksand, you must seek the help of the wizard Nicodemus. Then you must journey to the most terrible place of all, the stronghold of the Night Prince himself, Zanbar Bone. Death Trap Dungeon. This is the one. This is the first one I ever read. Down in the twisting labyrinth of Fang, unknown horrors await you. Countless adventurers before you have taken up the challenge of the Trial of Champions, but not one has survived. Devised by the devilish mind of Baron Sukhumvit, the labyrinth is riddled with fiendish traps and hideous creatures of darkness to trick and test you, almost beyond the limits of endurance. That was the first one I ever read. That's number 6. Zanbar Bone and the Forest of Doom. This is the Forest of Doom is the only Fighting Fantasy book I ever completed on the first attempt. Funnily enough, only the foolhardy would risk an encounter with the unknown perils that lurk in the murky depths of Darkwood Forest. Yet there is no alternative. Your quest is a desperate race against time to find the missing pieces of the legendary Hammer of Stonebridge, fashioned by dwarves, to protect the villagers of Stonebridge against their ancient doom. Oh god, no. I don't want to read. I don't want to... No. Ugh. Home. The Citadel of Chaos. Damn it. Thank you. Deep inside the Citadel of Chaos, the dread sorcerer Balthus Dire is plotting. Summoned by a desperate plea for help, you are the Vale of Willow's only hope. And you are no ordinary adventurer. A star pupil of the Grand Wizard of Yore, and a master sorcerer yourself, you must strike at the very heart of Balthus Dire's nightmare world. This is the one with the rhino men. Yeah. What about the Spooky Pirate? This is not one of the originals. This is written by Jonathan Green, apparently. It's a piratey sort of thing. Got Caverns of the Snow Witch as well. Island of the Lizard King. I never read this one. I've read pretty much all of these except for obviously that one. I never read Trial of Champions, and I never read Island of the Lizard King, but the rest of them I have read before. I might put up a straw poll on Twitter or something next week before we go live. See which book you guys would prefer to do next, or I'll just pick one. I don't know. But that's it for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We've been streaming for about 3 hours now, so I hope you all had fun. That was quite amusing. Yeah, more of this next week then, I think. We'll be back with another book on Monday. So you're downloading this, nice. The books were marvelous. As I said, I do have a few that aren't in here. Like Creature of Havoc, for example. Let me think. What were the other ones? Obviously there's a sorcery series. There was Starship Traveler. That was the sci-fi one. There was a superhero-themed one, believe it or not. Appointment with Fear, I think it was called, yeah. Forest of Doom is the only one you tried. Superhero one is fun. You know what? I actually think I might have Appointment with Fear and Starship Traveler on Steam as well, as separate things from this. I do have the Sorcery series as well, where that skews more towards game than just straight up book like these. Obviously, it still has the choices in it, but you can, in the Sorcery game, you can backtrack, and the combat is much more advanced and stuff. Personally, I like the whole book aspect of it because it is like reading the books back in the day. But you know, as I said, there is a gamified version of Warlock of Firetop Mountain if you are interested. That's also on Steam. But yeah, ladies and gents, thank you very much. I'm going to see if there's someone we could raid. The answer is there isn't anyone. All right. No, nobody. No, not very many people streaming this Monday evening. So, all right, ladies and gents. All right. Thank you very much for coming along this evening. I will see you on Wednesday, where we will be playing some more BattleTech. So Calamity and her band of mercenaries will be attempting to blow up more mechs, basically, and earn more cash. And yeah, we'll probably be starting the first story mission, actually, on Wednesday. So that'll be fun. Yeah, I think that's the one, Snord, yeah. I'll probably still have time on Wednesday, but until next time. Yep. I'll be streaming on Friday as well, as I said, which might be more BattleTech. It might be something else. I need to have a little think about what we're going to be doing on Friday, but we'll see. So until then, folks, toodaloo, and I'll catch you next time.